Today's transmission is going to be quite a challenge because this news is all so important. I have got to be able to somehow go over all of it. And we've got three amazing guests, one in studio. Lyndon LaRouche is going to be joining us to discuss the moves to begin impeachment of Obama that's been going on for more than 2 weeks and has gotten basically zero coverage. We are also going to have author of Dishonest Money, Financing the Road to Ruin, Joseph Plummer, excellent book on the private Federal Reserve. And it's a short book, but you can't put it down. Great for newbies out there that don't understand how the New World Order operates, but folks that have researched it a lot as well. You can always learn something new. Excellent book endorsed by G. Edward Griffin, by Joseph Plummer. Available at Infowars.com, I should add, if you want to support us and the author on the online video bookstore there. And Kurt Nemo is going to pop in as well because he's got an article out, Problem, Reaction, Solution, Anonymous Promises to Take Down the Internet. Now, it's come out that some of the main hacker groups that have gotten in trouble are actually working for the feds. No kidding. And what they're doing is they hang out a name like Anonymous. And then good people do stuff under anonymous name. Bad people do things. Idiots do things under the name. But that way you can demonize all of hacking and all of online activism under the name and under the larger rubric of Anonymous. And so I want to get him in here to talk about the evidence that a lot of these hacking groups are working for the government and now saying they're going to shut down the internet, which is exactly what Cyber Command said a few years ago. They said they could attack the web themselves. That's how arrogant they are, like we're not reading what generals are saying, as a pretext to then take control of the web. Then we saw Israel and the U.S., that is the interests that run our countries, launching an attack on the web and on infrastructures, but predominantly on the nuclear systems of Iran with the Stuxnet, and then coming out and saying, we need to take over the internet because of Stuxnet to protect it, of course. Of course. And the internet now is the wired infrastructure of the economy, of the world, of communication. So controlling it is paramount in the globalist paradigm, and they want to get everybody addicted to it when it's open and free, and now they're going to try to phase in the end of the internet as we know it. And I'm going to cover that, the end of the internet as we know it, if you let them. Coming up today, Krypton reports, new Samsung TV has built-in HD camera, microphones, face, and speech recognition. Yeah, just like the Kinect of Microsoft that came out a few years ago. Everything is a two-way AI connection system, and it's been like that for a long time with hidden microphones and cameras, and people find them, and it's like, oh, yeah, right. And then you get the actual specs that TiVo, remember 4 years ago, the Super Bowl announced, oh, we've been tracking what you watch. Here's the numbers, and people got all upset, and they said, oh, we don't want to discuss that, never mind. And in places like Pennsylvania, oh, we're watching you at home over your computer. People freaked out. They're like, never mind, we'll stop. We'll stop. They're doing it. And they're getting bureaucrats and corporate chiefs and their minions just prepared to just do it in mass, where so many of them spy on you that it just becomes accepted. And that's why the CIA director came out last week and said, we're watching everything you do in your house. All the new appliances watch you. It's all a declaration of war against freedom by these treasonous, lecherous traitors. So we'll get into that, the latest on the shooting in France, the economy, Iran, Monsanto.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.
It's Alex Jones.
Well, I am fired up and ready to go. And they just opened the gate up, and I'm on the field. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday, 22nd day of March 2012. Hard to believe we're about to end the third month in 2012 here. And I am predicting we're all still going to be here, at least most of us, after 2012. And I predict the mainstream media, the corporate dinosaur, prostitute, Decepticon, New World Order types, will claim that I said the world was going to end on 2012. Never said that. I've always had the view it's a hoax, a fraud, a false self-fulfilling prophecy so that people think, oh, it's the end of the world anyways, why should I get politically involved? Now, I do predict 2012 is going to be tumultuous. And I'm going to be doing some special reports on InfoWars Nightly News in the near future on 2012. In fact, I'm going to mark that down because I keep intending to do that, and I haven't yet. So 2012. Another program note, last week I interviewed Billy Corrigan of the Smashing Pumpkins in studio, in the TV studio, and it's ready to air tonight. And I said a few days ago I would air it tonight. There's even some news articles out there saying Alex Jones is going to air this big exclusive Billy Corrigan interview tonight about the New World Order, you name it, the nature of consciousness. He hasn't done something like this ever. He did a talk with the Sex Pistols lead guy a few years ago that's been watched millions of times and been very popular, talking about the Illuminati, New World Order, stuff like that. This is in-depth for over an hour. And this morning, I noticed there were news articles about the interview coming up tonight. And I thought, you know what? This is disrespectful to Billy Corrigan that I did a promo video for Dave Mustaine. And that interview ended up being in hundreds of publications. And he talked about a lot of important issues. I need to do a trailer for the Billy Corrigan interview. So I'm rescheduling it to Monday. Monday. And tonight we will put out a promo trailer for the Billy Corrigan interview. But I will air it Monday. But I always have these incredible guests, incredible breaking news, incredible information, and then never even promote it properly so that it actually gets seen so people understand how important it is. So that is going to happen Monday. So you'll have an extended nightly news Monday. We're going to be back with new shows every day. Monday, we went 8 months with InfoWars Nightly News. I was intending internally to go 2 months and then take a pit stop or hiatus while we tuned things. This is beta testing, deciding what type of news show. Will it be 30 minutes? Will it be an hour? How are we going to set the segments up? What are the graphics going to look like? What's our main thrust going to be? What you've seen is simply the training wheels. And the last 2 weeks, we've just been doing new graphics, working on a big announcement that I'm going to have either today or tomorrow. Well, that is a promotional contest video where we put out the rules and announce, hey, we're hiring a male reporter and a female reporter on top of the great crew we've built, the skeletal genesis of this operation. And now I'm looking to get 2 more reporters / anchors in here. And so we're about to launch that. I've got a bunch of other stuff coming up next week. So that's why I did this 2-week pit stop that's over this weekend. And I'll be back Monday with the Nightly News. And I've decided I'm going to do the Nightly News 3 nights a week. And then we'll have Aaron Dykes, Paul Watson, or Rob do it. We're also going to get John Bound to do it some. He does a great job with the package reports, special reports you've seen him doing. Very thought-provoking. Really impressed with all the work they're doing. Because I'm trying to move this in the direction of you don't hear or see Alex Jones all the time. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A, it needs to be about the information and not about the cult of personality. B, I need to spend time, at least a few days a week with my family. But C, and this is most important, I'm better when I can cool my afterburners. I'm better when I can pull in and get new tires, get new fuel, get a quick oil change. And because people have seen it, when I've taken off a week before, which I've only done maybe 5-6 times, a solid week off in the 17 years I've been on air, I come back and people are like, wow, what is going on here? And whereas I get so wound up all the time, and I'm thinking about this constantly, that I almost basically spin out of control. And so it's my goal to have, other people at least once a week, and I'll still do the show 6 days a week, so I'll be on myself 5 days a week. But my goal is to have it where once a week we have a guest host on the radio. And twice a week we have one of the other anchors or reporters do the nightly news. And then as I develop more reporters and people, I intend to segue them into doing the nightly news. And then there's other issues as well, where I've already got all these TV stations and cable systems and a national cable channel in England that I looked it up has millions of viewers. In the 2 hours we're on every Sunday, I went and looked at the numbers, 250, 300,000 viewers in the UK. And that's not giant, but that's big. I can't even handle now the emails and calls from media wanting to pick up the show and wanting to not have to download it off prisonplanet.tv, and it's in high quality so they can air it on television. But I've got to then research the systems, the uploading, news file sharing. Will I get satellite? I mean, it's just a big, big enchilada to cook. It's a big nut to crack. It's personnel. It's looking at finances. It's trying to figure out. I didn't mean to give you a report here right at the start of the show of what I've been thinking, but I mean, you're seeing a public meeting here. You're being told more than my crew's been told, because I'm constantly thinking about what I want to do, what my plans are, and so here I am telling everybody first, because I'm just codifying here on air decisions I've already made and what we're planning to do. And I want to give you this report too. We couldn't have done any of this if it wasn't for you, the listeners, the activists, the freedom lovers, over the years that have stood with us against mainstream media demonization and government attacks, who've stood with us under incredible COINTELPRO and globalist internet sock puppets attacking us and globalist Pentagon systems attacking us and trying to lie about us and dirty tricks. And the Cass Sunstein cognitive dissonance model of them posing as alternative media and posing as conspiracy theorists and posing as patriots and savaging us up one side and down the other. It's never upset me, because I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm truthful. I know I'm credible. I know I'm for real. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, and I'm a human. My work is like dirty rags before the Creator. But my heart is good, and I'm for real. And the idea that Alex Jones is real, the idea that you're real, you know you're a patriot, you know that you love liberty, you know that you love freedom. That basic fact, that basic realization and understanding is what is truly going to change our society in the final equation. That's what it's going to take, is you realizing that you're a leader and that you have power and that you count and that you're valuable and that you know you're good. And so you can take action against the tyrants. You can take action against the globalist. You can take action against tyranny and corruption and oppression everywhere you see it. And you can help people change their tire. And you can educate a police officer. And you can help an old lady across the street. And you cannot get in petty fights with your family because the system has trained everybody through television and culture to do it. You can stick together as a family and work things out. If it's 1 degree a month that you make things better, it doesn't matter. It's that tribal understanding that it's not just me against the world. It's all of us that love freedom against the technocrats, the criminal structures, the corrupt systems. That's what we're talking about here. And it's not buying into the COINTELPRO, Cass Sunstein White House system, which was going on long before Cass Sunstein. He just wrote public policy papers about, we've got to fund in our funding thousands of operatives to go out and get people in fighting because the mainstream media has no credibility. We've got to pose as anti-establishment to get these people tearing each other apart. And we couldn't have done any of this if you weren't sophisticated enough when the whole system threw everything they had at us and it boomeranged around and actually helped create a bigger buzz about this radio show. All these attacks were turned into good. We turned it into energy. You turned it into energy. People actually came here and found out what we really do, found out who we really are, no matter how they edited what I said, no matter the camera angles they used to deceive people, no matter the dirty tricks they've done when I'm at the Texas Capitol or somewhere else with camera angles, or with Michelle Malkin with camera angles claiming I was saying killer, or all the other things that they've done, it's backfired on them because you were sophisticated enough to know what was happening. And I just am horrified to think what the next attacks are going to be like, because these systems haven't worked. But bottom line, the message has been sent. The information is out there. We also couldn't have done this without your prayers. And we couldn't have done it without the AM and FM affiliate owners, managers, program directors who have heard me for years talk about this and have now seen it come true and have had the courage to put me on the air. And then now we have the success of the ratings. I mean, I'm #1 in most demographics in Austin, #2 in the key demographic of, 18 to 54 on KLBJ. That's on radio, period, music, everything. We are in places like Orlando, #1. We're #1 in many, many areas, #1. And that is a example of how popular liberty is. And now I see thousands of other writers and talk show hosts duplicating our research and expanding on it and making it even more powerful. And I know that even if they kill me, the message has now been transmitted, and we've had devastating victories against the globalists. The news is straight ahead.
I can't get no relief.
Well, let me tell you something. There's not confusion here. Everything that the globalists do in their own documents that have leaked over the years is create confusion in the public. Get everybody following false narratives about Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. That's a controlled game. That's a controlled sum. That's why they've been shutting Ron Paul out through a long list of frauds. But when all of us stop playing along and get outside this giant Truman show, this Alice in Wonderland that they've created, and start studying what's going on behind the facade. Listen, you don't have to believe everything I say. I want you to go check it out and find out 9 times out of 10 it's worse than I'm even saying. If I'm guilty of anything, it's holding back sometimes, if you want to be honest. A lot of people say, oh, this guy, he's a fearmonger. That's one of their memes they put out. This couldn't be true. It's true and then some. What I'm trying to get you to do is to go and test the boundaries of what you've been taught and what you believe, and to go see if there's any hidden doorways in your worldview. And I think as soon as you look, you'll find they're not hidden at all. And you're going to open those doorways to a wider world. And then you're going to find more doorways to a wider world. And still more and more. That is the majesty. That is the mystery. That is the magic of life and creativity and the electric creation around us. I mean, spring is such a exhilarating time with all the little flowers and the life and the clear night skies. You can feel it resonating with your soul. And then you go watch television or you go see a football game, and it might be exciting at one level, but it doesn't feed the soul. It doesn't satisfy. It doesn't deliver the goods. We've got more electronics, more entertainment, more carnival distractions than humans have ever had. And in every major study, people are less satisfied. There's more porn. There's more topless bars. There's more sex. There's more drugs. There's more of everything. And people are not satisfied. You know who's satisfied? People that truly do serve humanity. People that truly engage in exploration. Dangerous exploration. Humans are meant to be challenged. And the globalists have created all these artificial avenues, warfare. That's what some of our best people do, join the military, because they're instinctively seeking the challenge, but it's working for the globalists in the final equation. There's some good done, but overall it's for an evil overall mission. That's why so many join police, because they're looking for adventure and excitement and challenge. And they want to show that they've got it, not to others, but to themselves. The problem is those directing it from on high are slowly but surely twisting that mission. It is the wanderlust. It is the spirit of exploration that empowers humanity. Now, we've got Lyndon LaRouche coming up with some bombshell info on impeachment of Obama and his inside sources. Joseph Plummer, author of Dishonest Money, is going to be joining us for 30 minutes. And Kurt Nimmo for about 20 minutes as well on some big news, problem, reaction, solution. Anonymous promises to take down the internet. Of course, the government will have some, oh, it's anonymous. It took it down. Now we're going to blame the general public. And people are like, hey, Anonymous does good work. Some people under that name Anonymous, but it's tailor-made to blame the whole when it's completely anonymous. Just like Occupy Wall Street was set up and pushed by globalists, good people showed up because it was a nebulous calling for going after corruption in Wall Street, and then George Soros and the White House could come in and take it over. That failed, so then they, under a Homeland Security sweep, SWAT teamed them nationwide in a single night and started arresting them and now charging them with felonies. Because they couldn't co-opt it. They wanted a plastic revolution, like the ones they've stimulated in the Middle East. But not to bring liberty and freedom, but to bring al-Qaeda rule. And here it wasn't to bring going after the insiders on Wall Street engaged in corporate crony fraud. It was to give those crony fraud people more power. We'll be back with key news. Stay with us. You have found at the front lines of the info war, the tip of the spear. I'm here 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we have the nightly news, 7 o'clock. Weeknights at prisonplanet.tv, and we are running in perpetuity a 15-day free trial where you can go sign up for the monthly subscription. It's $5.95 a month. That's, a quarter the cost or less a day of a cup of coffee, and you finance what we're doing. If you like the kind of guests we're having, if you like the fact that we're reaching millions and millions of people every day conservatively, well, I mean, we're reaching like 10 million people a week on YouTube. I always say we reach 15 million people a week. That is a very conservative number. I've got to revise that. I've done some breakdown actuaries. It's a great responsibility. I'm not here bragging. Hey, we reach a lot of people. I'm saying, wow, we're actually having an effect. Every day now, I see articles we break, reports we put out at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com that end up being picked up by big newspapers, big publications, and more, they're actually saying, as first reported by Infowars.com. In the old days, they'd never give us credit for anything, but we've become a major news source. And we'd already